welcome to my channel. This is a new moon reading for the new moon in Virgo, August 27th, which is a Saturday, and the new moon will be at 1:17 a.m. Pacific time. This will be a pick a card reading to receive a message from our familiar, so the animals in our life, the cats and the dogs that we share our lives with, that we have a special connection to, a message from them for advice on how we can set our intentions for this new moon. New moons are perfect time to set new intentions, set new goals. What do you want to see occur in a year or so from now? Or what do you want to see occur in the next 28 to 30 days, which is the full lunar cycle? The energy from the new moon helps us set these intentions. It's kind of like a new start, a new beginning, and when we look at the sign that the moon is in, which this month it is Virgo, we can see what will be the most powerful intentions to set, thinking of Virgo energy. I also like to work with our familiar when setting intentions, and a lot of manifesting. It's really helpful to look at our familiars because they are so in tune with our energies, and they can really pick up on energy and notice things within ourselves that we don't notice. They are like our mirrors. They reflect back to us what is going on internally or subconsciously that we aren't fully aware of. They are also little sponges that soak up all of our energy. They also come from pure love, and they are here to assist us, help us, and they really want to provide us with insight, advice, assistance. When we work with our familiars, we are not only benefiting ourselves, but our familiars, their quality of life improves. So it's really just a win-win for us and our familiars, the animals in our lives, when we work together. It also deepens our bond and our partnership, often reduces misbehaving or stress, anxiety in the animals in our household. If you are interested in working with your familiar and learning how to live with familiars in a partnership that benefits the both of you, I invite you to join my Facebook group, Living with Familiars. But let's get into the messages from this new moon. So as I mentioned, this new moon is in Virgo. Virgo energy is very disciplined. With Virgo, you can focus on habits, the habits that you have if you want to improve your habits for your health. So if you wanted to do something like give up smoking, this would be a great intention to set with a Virgo new moon. Any habits that you want to release, stop doing, let go of, that are not helping your alignment and not helping your health, especially your physical body or your mental or emotional health. This is a great time to set the intention to release these habits. And instead of just setting the intention to release them, also think about what you want to replace them with. What is a healthy habit that you can do, or a habit that is more in alignment with who you are and who you want to be and where you want your life headed. Virgo energy is all about listening to our body and being aware and paying attention to what our body is trying to tell us. It can be a great time to set intentions about our physical body, whether we want to lose weight, we want to go to the gym, gain muscle. What changes for our health does our physical body require? It's a great time to make intentions to move your body more. Do you want to dance more? Do you want to ride your bike, go swimming, hiking, go for more walks? What do you want to do? How do you want to move your body? Virgo new moon is a great time to think about what lifestyle habits you want to have in general. What routines or schedules do you want? Do you want to wake up earlier, go to bed earlier? Do you want to meditate every day? What do you want to add to your routine? How can you make your routine more in alignment with who you want to be and the direction that you want your life to be headed? Not only focusing on your physical body, but also focusing on your mental health and your emotional health. What can you do to feel more balanced and in alignment mentally and emotionally? The Virgo new moon can help you deal or transform with psychological trauma. It can help you release the emotions that go with trauma to forgive and move on. For this new moon, think about setting intentions that involve decluttering or organizing. How can you improve your home? How can you have your home environment feel cleaner, more organized? Our home and where we live, where we spend most of our time, how cluttered it is, or disorganized, or messy, or dirty can often reflect our inner bodies as well. So you can take a look at the connection between the two. Is your health needing some improvement, and how can your home, how can you arrange your home to also help you feel healthier? Heal your home as well as your body. How can you better take care of yourself and your home? If you're feeling ambitious, Virgo new moon is a great time to really raise your standards and improve your skills. So I've been talking a lot about healing and health and routines, which are great topics of intentions to set, but you can also set intentions around bettering yourself or your skills. What do you want to learn? What do you want to improve? What do you want to get better at? Virgo can often be a perfectionist, so you don't want to be perfect, but you can use the energy to help you improve and get better. You can use the energy to raise your standards. In what areas of your life do you feel that you can have higher standards? So now that we know the energy around this new moon, I'm going to shuffle the cards, and while I shuffle, pick a number from 1 to 3, or ask your familiar which number they would like you to hear, and that will be your message. So take a deep breath, relax your body, and kind of get into a meditative state so you can receive the message with clarity and with love and acceptance. The question I will be asking our familiars as a collective is what our familiars want us to know about our physical health, our emotional health, and our mental health. So I will be pulling 3 cards for each group. Group A, Group B, and Group C, and each card will represent physical health, mental health, and emotional health, so 1 card for each. So just a message that our familiar wants us to have in each of these areas of our life. Something that they've been noticing, or some advice that they have, something they maybe want us to release, or something that they want us to bring in. So we'll see what our familiar has to say for us. I'm going to shuffle the cards. I'm using the Dog and Cat Communication Tarot deck, which is a deck specifically designed for communicating with your dog or your cat. It follows the traditional tarot meaning and layout, just written from the perspective of your dog or your cat. I'll leave information for that deck below if you're interested, but I'm going to shuffle the cards now. A message from our familiars, Group A, B, and C. What does our familiar have to say to us about our physical, mental, and emotional health for Group A, Group B, and Group C? Group A, Group B, Group C, Group A, Group B, Group C, Group A, Group B, Group C. Group A, your cards are the 8 of Paws, Justice, and the Emperor. Group 1, with your card, the 8 of Paws, representing your physical health, your familiar is letting you know that when you move your body, when you go to the gym or when you get exercise, it is important for you to have variety, to not do the same thing every day or every week, but to do different things to keep it exciting. Maybe you get bored really easily and then you give up, or you can't stick to a routine or an exercise plan, or you can't stay consistent and regular, and you can get kind of down on yourself or wonder why you can't stick to these exercise goals, this movement, moving your body. And your familiar is letting you know that you can stick to it. It's just that maybe it's too boring for you. You need to have variety and excitement and adventure. You're not someone that can just go to the gym every single day. And if you are really disciplined and you are able to do that, your familiar is saying, try and do something else. It will be healthier for you when you have variety, when you do something different every single day. Take a dance class, take a kickboxing class, go on a hike. Don't take a class at all. Do something on your own by yourself. Take your familiar for a walk. Do something different every day or every week or whatever fits into your schedule. Just make sure that you have variety. This will be healthiest for you when you are able to move your body in different ways, not yoga every day, not walking every day, but move your body slowly some days, maybe a calming, relaxing yoga, and then some days do heavy cardio, and then some days do weights, and then some days be outside in nature. Don't always be in a class. Don't always be inside. Switch it up. Do things different. Go swimming one day. Dance by yourself in your living room. Put on a timer for 20 minutes and dance really hard till you're sweating and you've really done your cardio like that in a way that's not structured. Do cardio in a structured way. Find all these unique different things that you can do and have sometimes it by yourself, sometimes in a class, sometimes with your familiar. Do things that excite you. Do things that feel good. You should be really excited about moving your body and exercising. And if you're not, that's because you've gotten bored or you need to find something new to do to bring more excitement in. Listen to music that excites you. One day listen to music, one day listen to a podcast while you're exercising, one day exercise in silence and just have your own thoughts. Do it different all the time, in different locations, different activities, in different ways, with different people. Don't let anything become stagnant when it comes to exercise and your physical body, moving your body. And group 1, you have the card Justice when it comes to your mental health. With the card Justice, that's our familiars asking us to pause, take a step back, and really think about the consequences of our actions. This could either mean that your familiar wants you to release all of the thoughts that you have around the actions you take. Maybe you're overthinking and you're worrying and you're putting all these thoughts which are preventing you from actually taking action. And these thoughts are becoming heavy, they're becoming a burden, they're becoming hard on you, and it feels like you have a lot to carry. But these are these heavy thoughts that you're carrying, and they're really easy for you to release. So yes, it is important to think of the consequences of our actions and not just jump headfirst into things, but we can't let those thoughts, those worries, those fears prevent us from actually taking action. Your familiar really wants you to become more aware of the heavy thoughts that may be burdening you or holding you down. And this can be a time to release those thoughts. Once you're aware of them, you can choose to let them go. And not to become careless and just do things without thinking about them, but don't let them weigh you down. Don't be too hard on yourself. You have the card, the Emperor, when it comes to your emotional health. This is your familiar telling you that you can really step into your emotions. You are in control and in charge of how you feel. Don't let anyone else tell you how you should feel. You are in control of how you feel, and sometimes we can feel like people expect us to feel a certain way about something, but your familiar is letting you know that only you can tell yourself how you feel, and only you know how you are feeling. No one can tell you how to feel or how you should feel. And to let yourself feel those emotions, let yourself feel them so that when you feel uncomfortable or undesirable emotions, you can feel them, release them, and move on from them. You don't need to hold on to them. And the only way you can move on is when you accept them and accept that you are feeling that way about that certain thing and be okay with that, and then you can move on from it. Don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't be sad or that you should be sad or that you shouldn't be angry or you should be angry. Just do what feels the best for you. And to also take control of how you are feeling. Don't blame someone else. No one can cause you to feel angry, upset, sad, hurt. They may do something that can cause you to feel that, but they're not in control of how you feel. You can always choose to come back to love, joy, happiness, peace. You can choose to release those emotions and then return to something that feels better. No one can keep you in a state that you don't want to be in. Take control and power of your emotions. The Emperor is also about structure and routines. So this is your familiar perhaps suggesting that you can bring in some routine into your emotions, whether that's meditating, EFT tapping, dance, yoga, whatever you need to do to help yourself feel these emotions, process these emotions, and help yourself celebrate the good emotions. Whatever routine that you can add, if that's journaling or talking, even just talking to your familiar, talking to yourself, whatever you need to add into your routine that will help you deal with your emotions. And this isn't always emotions that are uncomfortable or that you don't want to feel or feel uncomfortable feeling, but also the good emotions, the emotions that you want to celebrate, the emotions that feel really good. What can you bring into your routine and your schedule? What can you structure in that brings in these positive, these really great feelings, these emotions that you want to experience more often? How can you work into routine something that brings in those emotions? So I hope this was helpful for you, Group 1, and you were able to set some really great intentions for this new moon, and have a great next 30 or so days for the lunar cycle. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Group B, your cards are the Chariot, High Priestess, and the Seven of Paws. Group 2, you have the Chariot representing your physical health. The Chariot is your familiar letting you know to be consistent. So whatever you do for your physical health, for your body, the exercise that you do, the movement you do with your body, the foods that you eat, your familiar is reminding you to be consistent, and that maybe you're not seeing the results that you want. Maybe you've been working out or exercising, reducing your sugar intake, or doing something for your health for quite a while now, and you haven't seen the results that you've been hoping for. Whether you want to build more muscle and tone your body, or you want to lose fat, or you want to improve an existing health condition. Whatever you've been doing with your diet, with your exercise, whatever you've been doing for your physical body, you haven't seen what you've been hoping for, expecting. You haven't reached that goal or that target yet. Your familiar is reminding you to stay determined. Keep with that willpower, and you can look to your familiar for energy to keep you going. And don't worry about the length of time. Maybe you haven't even started yet and you're just looking at all the work that you need to do to get from point A to point B, from where you are to where you want to go. And your familiar is saying, don't worry about the journey or the distance or how far you are now, how far you are away from where you need to be for your optimal health, for your body to be in alignment with who you are, with who you want to be, with the lifestyle you want to have. Maybe you're recovering from an injury, or you've just kind of let your physical body go and you want to really improve that, or you want to better your physical body and be at the top peak of your physical body's health, and you want to take it from just being stagnant to being exceptional. Wherever you are on that spectrum, that don't look at how far you have to go to be where you want to be. Take it one day at a time and stay committed. And your familiar is also letting you know that you have the capability, you have the skills, the knowledge, the tools, you have the determination, you have the clarity, you have everything that you need available, and you can take on this challenge and reach these goals, even if it seems far away or if it seems like you've been doing it for a long time without seeing results. So that's what your familiar has to tell you about your physical health. And you have the card, the High Priestess, representing your emotional health. The High Priestess is a very intuitive card. With this card, your familiar is reminding you to pay attention to your intuition. Your familiar really wants you to rely on your intuition. So when it comes to your mental health and the thoughts that you are having, when it comes to your mental dialogue, your familiar wants to remind you that you are intuitively powerful. This card is all about the subconscious, so our thoughts that we aren't aware that we are having. And our familiar is reminding us that we can choose to gain clarity and choose to rewire or change our subconscious in any way we desire. So if we have thoughts in our subconscious that are holding us back or out of alignment, which everyone does, we all do, our familiars wanting us to work with our subconscious, which whether that's through meditation or hypnosis, EFT tapping, breath work, something that can really get us in tune with our subconscious. This can come through dreams, and just to be aware of the messages that we are receiving, that our intuition is receiving. And when we have this awareness, when we are able to kind of take control or be more aware of our subconscious, we can change our actions, our habits, our feelings, and our conscious thoughts in a way more powerful way. Our familiars reminding us to use our intuition and to use those tools like hypnosis and meditation and breathwork and tapping to give our subconscious some love, spend some time going deep and turning inward. And doing so will really help our mental health, help our conscious thoughts, the way we think about the world, the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about other people, the way we think about our challenges and our goals and our desires and our manifestations. So our familiar really wants us to look at working with the subconscious, working with our inner dialogue that we don't even realize we have going on, to work with our intuition and to be really aware of our thoughts and what is going on internally, the thoughts that we can't always comprehend or voice out because we don't really know those internal beliefs, those subconscious beliefs that we've grown up with and haven't even really considered before. And there are a lot of tools and a lot of ways we can uncover those and become aware of them. Our familiar wants us to do that kind of work to become aware of them, which will help us improve our mental health. For our emotional health, the card that you group to receive is the Seven of Paws. The Seven of Paws is about really critically assessing situations. So our familiar wants us to really use our thoughts, become aware of our emotions, and maybe really think about where our emotions are coming from. Why are we feeling this way? Question our emotions and kind of judge our emotions, but in a way that's not putting judgment on ourselves or making us feel bad or wrong for having these emotions. Just becoming aware that this is how I'm feeling, and that's okay, and what is causing me to feel this way. Kind of peeling back the layers and uncovering the root of our emotions. Why are we feeling this way? Why are we feeling angry or sad or frustrated? What is causing us to feel these uncomfortable thoughts? And on the other end, what causes us to feel the emotions that feel good? What causes us to feel happiness and joy and love and peace and freedom and abundance and all those things that we want to feel consistently? And to be aware of the truth behind our emotions. We're not feeling a certain way just because of nothing. Our emotions are a reaction to something, and how can we remove things that cause us to react emotionally in ways that we don't want to, or how can we reduce those emotions to be more manageable or feel more comfortable, not to deny our emotions, push them down and pretend they don't exist, but to become aware of them and then find out what is causing us to feel that way, and then seeing how we can remove that cause or help us cope with the cause better to reduce feeling uncomfortable or undesirable ways. And to think about what causes those good emotions and what can we add to our routine or our schedule, our daily life to help us feel those good feelings more often. So just becoming aware of the root of your emotions. What is pushing you towards feeling certain ways, and how can you adjust, adapt, change? What do you need to add or take away from your daily routine or your schedule to ensure that you are experiencing emotions that you want to feel more often? So our familiar really wants us to become aware of the cause of our feelings. Our feelings aren't random. They are pointing us in a direction that we need to look at, that we need to explore, go deeper into, and become aware of our emotions without placing judgment on this is bad, this is wrong, I shouldn't be feeling this way, and becoming more proactive about it. Thinking, I feel this way and this caused me to feel this way, and I can do this to change it so it doesn't happen again, or to be able to deal with it differently or better when it does happen, and to choose things that bring us emotions we want to feel, that we desire to feel, that are more comfortable to feel. I hope that was helpful for you, group 2, and you were able to set intentions this Virgo new moon in areas that benefit your physical, emotional, and mental health. And have a great next 30 or so days, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Group C, your cards are the Magician, the Three of Hearts, and the Ten of Paws. Group 3, you have the Magician representing your physical health. With this card, your familiar is suggesting that you kind of have your physical health under control, and you are maybe in a state where you feel physically healthy. And if you aren't there yet, you are on the path, you know the path, you know the way forward, you know the direction, you know how to get there. Maybe you just have to do it. The Magician is our familiar suggesting we have all the tools, all the skills, all the knowledge, everything available to us to reach our physical health goals. So when I say physical health, I'm thinking exercise and diet, nutrition. So we already know what we need to do. We know the exercise routine we should be doing. We know what feels good for our body. We know what to do. Maybe we're just not actually doing it. And when it comes to our diet, we know what foods feel good, what foods help our body stay healthy. We know how to create a balanced diet and meal. We know what foods agree with our bodies and what doesn't. And if we don't know those things, we have the tools, the resources, the skills available to us the confidence available to us to find out those things. So if you don't know what foods agree with you, if you don't know what consists of a diet that is best for you, your familiar is suggesting you go out and find out. Find out what your body needs in your diet, what you should be consuming, and what your body needs for exercise. What helps your body feel the best. You have all the tools, all the resources, everything you need available to you to figure that out. And if you already know, then all you need to do is start taking action, start actually doing it. You've done the research and you can start living it now. You can put it in place, incorporate it in your routines and your schedule. And if you're not sure, then your familiar is suggesting do the research, find out, and then incorporate it. But you have everything available to you to find that out, to gain that knowledge. And now's the time to do it. For your mental health, you have the card Three of Hearts. The Three of Hearts representing your mental health is interesting because the Three of Hearts is a very emotional card. It's a card that I would consider more for our emotional health. And if it was for our emotional health, I'm going to say that the Three of Hearts is about letting yourself feel sadness, letting yourself feel loss. So everyone has experienced loss in their life, whether that's the loss of a loved one, the loss of a lifestyle that they once had, the loss of a personality trait that they've had. When you just grow up and enter a new phase of your life, you're losing your previous phase. And it's important to just let yourself grieve, let yourself feel sad for whatever loss you have experienced. But since this card is in our mental health, that means we don't just need to feel those feelings, we need to put words and thoughts to those feelings. So maybe looking at the root cause of what is causing sadness, what thoughts are we thinking that is resulting in us feeling sad or loss or disappointment, and releasing those thoughts. So what do you think on a daily basis that causes you sadness, that makes you feel down and kind of depressed? It's time to release those thoughts and replace them with something that feels a lot more uplifting. So not repressing or pushing down these emotions and ignoring them, but feeling them, accepting them, thinking about them, kind of analyzing why you feel that way and the thoughts that you are saying to yourself or to others, whether it's verbally saying it to others or just internally saying it to yourself, those thoughts, releasing them and moving on from them. And for emotional health, the card that you have that represents your emotional health is the Ten of Paws. This card is kind of ties into the Three of Hearts, which is why I'm kind of reading them together. So for our emotional health, our familiar wants us to be able to move on, to be able to release any emotions that we've been carrying with us for a while. If we have uncomfortable emotions, often we can push them down and kind of ignore them, pretend that they're not there. Our familiar is saying, enough with that. Let's let them go, let's release them, and not look back. This is now in our past, and we can appreciate our past, be grateful for our past and the lessons that we've learned, but we don't need to carry those emotions out of guilt or shame or whatever it is, whatever reason we feel we need to hold on to that sadness and that hurt and that loss from whatever we have experienced that has caused us to feel that way. We've felt them long enough, and now let's enter a new phase. Let's put those emotions, that sadness, let's get rid of it and move on from it. And both our emotional and mental health will improve when we let those feelings go, when we accept that experience that has occurred has caused us to feel sad, lonely, and loss, and that's now in the past, and we can really turn to our familiar to help us release those uncomfortable feelings. We will have to feel them, bring them up in our body in order to release them, and think of those thoughts, think of that experience mentally in order to release those emotions emotionally. It might just take a second, it might take a minute, it might take an afternoon, but we can do it, and our familiar is here supporting us, assisting us, loving us, giving us love and peace and clarity, providing us with that so that we are able to heal and transform and move on. So this new moon set intentions around releasing, transforming, and accepting these uncomfortable emotions. And then what emotions do we want to bring in? We want to experience more love, joy, peace, freedom, clarity, abundance. What is it? What do we want to feel more of? I hope this message was helpful for you, group 3, and you have a great lunar cycle. Set some really great new moon intentions with this Virgo energy and these messages from your familiar, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.